Morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what time you are watching this video. My name is Traci Mitchell, and I get the honor and privilege of serving students at Virginia Highlands Community College. I work within our Student Services Department inside of our Career Services Resource Center, and I'm very excited for the opportunity to be able to host or present on this workshop that we call Marketing Your Skills. This is a workshop that's going to be specific to job search strategies. We're going to be talking about some different ways that you as a student or a community member or as a job seeker can identify what companies are hiring, what positions are they hiring for, and how do you apply for a position with those companies. Again, I'm very excited to be facilitating this webinar or this workshop. But with that being said, I also want to say that it is not lost on me that many of you are tuning in to watch this series because in light of COVID-19, you may have lost employment, you might have been laid off from a job, maybe you're working reduced work hours. I do want to tell you that as your community college, we're here for you, we're here to support you. And one way that we are doing that is by offering up a variety of workshops related to job seeking skills. This specific one that we're going to be talking about today is related to job search strategies, but we're going to do more. We're going to do some on resume writing. We're going to do some on interviewing skills. So I just want to reaffirm to you that as your community college, we're here for you. We're here for you if you're a student. We're here for you if you're a community member. And I'm looking forward to presenting this information to you today. Many of you may be looking at this slide and you probably noticed the first word marketing, and you're probably thinking, oh no, I've signed up for the wrong presentation, I've signed up for the wrong webinar, I didn't know I was going to be taking a business class. Well, you're in luck because I'm certainly not one who would be teaching business. There's a lot of individuals who are out there who would be a lot more qualified in teaching business and specifically marketing than I am. But whenever I teach job seeking skills, I always teach job seeking skills in light of the term marketing. So when we talk about marketing, I do want to take just a few moments to talk about this. Really, marketing refers to the promotion of a product or a service. Marketing is typically accomplished through a variety of advertising tools and marketing tools. And most buyers out there, you and I included, will typically make a purchase because we saw an advertisement that was eye-catchy, or we saw an advertisement that made us feel like this product could really meet our need. And essentially, that's what you're going to be doing as a job seeker, as a job seeker. You're going to be promoting your product, your service. Well, what is your product or what is your service? Well, you are your product or your service. The skills that you have, industry credentials or certification, college degrees, your work experience, your abilities, your knowledge, all of those things, that's your product. And you're going to market that product to the company that you're applying for a job with using advertising and marketing tools that we're going to be learning more about. That's your employment application. That's your cover letter. That's your resume. Those are your marketing tools. As a job seeker, they're part of your job seeker toolbox. And as I said a few minutes ago, most buyers will make a purchase because they saw an eye-catching advertisement. We've got to make sure that your cover letter, your resume, your employment applications are designed in a way that really proves to that employer that you are able to meet their needs, that you have exactly what it is that they're looking for, and that you can make them an excellent employee. So again, your toolbox is going to be number one, your employment application. And this is going to be a document that an employer is going to ask you to complete. And it's going to contain information about you. It could be a paper and pencil document or a document that you're going to actually write on. But of course, many employers, and in light of the pandemic of COVID-19, many companies are probably going to have you to complete that application electronically online on their website. You're also going to need a cover letter, and a cover letter is just that, it's a letter, and it's a business letter that really introduces you and it introduces your resume to the employer that you're applying for a job with. That brings us to a resume, and if you're a job seeker, you need a resume. A resume is really going to be your personal summary of all of the reasons why you're qualified to do the job that you're applying for. It's going to summarize your skills, your educational background, your work history, and of course your certifications and qualifications. And if you can construct your employment application, and your cover letter, and your resume in a way that entices that company or that employer to want to learn a little bit more about you, well then guess what? You're going to be invited in for an interview. And that's going to be a process where you and that employer sit down and you're going to discuss the job opening. They're going to be trying to find out if you're the right person for the job, and you're also going to be trying to find out if that company is going to be a good fit for you and if that's going to be a good place that you're going to want to work. I also want to mention with the interview, we could see interviews looking a little bit different. In the middle of COVID-19 and this pandemic, we might even see some employers who are now doing interviews virtually, so be prepared for that as well. Some of you may have never been in the workforce. Maybe you've never applied for a job before, or maybe you've been in the workforce for quite a while. You've had the same job for many years. Maybe you recognize that some things have changed in terms of the way that employers are out there recruiting people for their jobs. Well, those are those job search strategies that we're going to talk to you about now. I want to offer you some hope and I want to offer you some encouragement before we start talking about the job seeking strategies. This is a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and it says, "If you can't fly, then run. And if you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward." When I read this quote, and this is what I want to remind you of, this tells me that we can't give up in anything, including searching for employment. Oftentimes when trying to find a job, we hear the word that none of us want to hear. I've heard it before, that word being no. Anytime that we hear the word no when we're searching for employment, we can't let that stop us. We have to keep pressing on, we have to keep moving forward, and we can't give up. If you are trying to search for employment right now, you might even feel a little bit overwhelmed. I've heard a lot of people say that they're overwhelmed just by the whole pandemic. Everything from having kids at home and trying to help them with homework. Many of you may have a spouse at home that's also lost his or her job, or maybe he or she is teleworking from home. We want to talk to you right now about the 7 ways that employers are posting jobs. That way you're going to know right where you need to start. The first thing I'm going to talk to you about is, you guessed it, the newspaper. Of course, 25 years ago, this would have been the #1 way that employers were out there getting the word out to people and starting that recruiting process. And believe it or not, a lot of employers are still using the classified section of the newspaper to post job opportunities. So don't forget to check out that classified section. Also, networking. When I talk about networking, I want to ask you, what is networking? A lot of you are probably saying, well, it's word of mouth. And networking is word of mouth, but networking is so much more than that. Networking is really getting out there and connecting with other people. And even though you can't do that in person, you're able to still network and connect with other people right from your cell phone, right from your computer, right from social media. So now is just as good a time as ever to do some networking and to do some connecting with other individuals. There's also the internet, and there's a lot of job search websites out there, social media apps that are available, and I'm going to talk to you about those in a few moments. The internet has definitely changed the way that employers are able to post jobs and recruit, and we do encourage you to use the internet. There's also employment agencies, and employment agencies are really useful because a lot of employers in our region will initially hire people through employment agencies. These are agencies such as West Staff, Lateral Staffing Group. Sometimes the jobs are temporary, but not always. And sometimes the jobs may start temporary, but then they can also lead to full-time and permanent employment. And if you're not working right now, even a temporary job on your resume is going to help you to look more marketable to employers and companies. Also, the State Employment Service. Every state has an employment service to help 2 different groups. To help job seekers, people like you that are looking for employment, but they also help businesses. So here in Virginia, it's called the Virginia Employment Commission, and you can go to their website and you can register to be a job seeker. They have a lot of companies that come to them and post their openings with the Virginia Employment Commission. It's a free service to businesses, and it's also a free service to job seekers. So they do a really good job matching you up with employment opportunities in the region. There's also career fairs, and a lot of you may be thinking, yeah, I doubt there's a lot of career fairs going on right now. And you're probably right. We certainly are not seeing we're not seeing any career fairs happening because of the CDC guidelines and the governor's request for groups of 10 or more not to assemble. I'm hopeful that we could see some online type job fairs or virtual job fairs that start popping up in our region. And if we do, I certainly want to communicate that information to you as well. I also encourage you to look at community college job boards. Many times employers will turn to their local community colleges to recruit talent for some of the positions they have available. So also check out the community college job boards. I'm going to ask you what you think the number one way is that employers I guess get the word out, or the number one way that people find out about job openings. And if you guessed number two, networking, you guessed correctly. Networking for a long time, and it's still true today, is the number one way that people find out about jobs. I think it's probably the last 3 jobs that I've had, I've found my jobs through networking. But I think that the best approach, if you're really needing to find employment, is to utilize all of these job search methods that we have listed on this page. And this by no means is a comprehensive list of all the job search sites that are out there. These are just some of my favorites and some of those that are my go-to sites when I'm trying to help individuals find employment. One that's really popular and that I find to be really useful is Indeed.com. They also have an app that you can download onto your phone, and you can go into your settings and set the zip code or the area where you want to receive notifications of job openings for, and you can get those through your app on your phone, or you can get those in email alerts. I just did a quick search on Indeed.com. You can search by job title, or if you just want to search by a certain area. For example, I typed in Abingdon, Virginia, and I saw a variety of openings, everything from medical assistants in the healthcare industry to retail clerks. I saw some retail clerks for Kroger. Also, Food City has been hiring order selectors, folks to work in their warehouse, stockers for both day and night. And those are just some of the ones that I saw listed up toward the top. There were a lot of different things that were posted on Indeed.com. I also want to mention to you, I told you in the previous slide that a lot of employers turn to their local community college job boards, and they post job openings on the local community college job boards. We maintain a job board, and it's really easy to access. You can go to vhcc.edu/career explorer, and all you've got to do is click on work opportunities, and you're going to see our job board there. I do encourage you to create an account. Just in the top right hand corner, you can click sign up. I think it takes maybe 20 seconds for you to create an account, so I do encourage you to do that, because we also have a resume builder on that tool or on that website that we'll talk about in another presentation. But when you create an account, you're able to create several different resumes, and it's going to automatically save those for you. But right now on our job board, you're going to see that TSA has openings posted on there for security officers. The city of Bristol, Tennessee is hiring for an engineering generalist. I think we also had some positions posted on there from Shoney's. They were hiring cooks and servers. So you're going to see a variety of different positions, everything from part-time to full-time. I encourage you to go to Facebook, Virginia Highlands Community College. We have a Facebook group called VHCC Career Connection, and our staff updates that Facebook page on a daily basis. So anytime we hear about job openings within our region, we post those to the VHCC Career Connection Facebook page. You're going to see a lot of other useful websites on here. I encourage you to do a screenshot, grab your phone, take a picture of this page. The Southwest Virginia Alliance for Manufacturing. This is an organization where a lot of different manufacturing companies across our region are a member of this group called SFAM, and they maintain an employment registration site. You can go to their website, sfam.org, click on Manufacturing Works, and then you're going to see a link for employment registration. Keep in mind, manufacturing is not only machining and welding. Manufacturers hire people for IT, they hire people for HR, so there's a lot of different opportunities available right within manufacturing, payroll, finance, all types of different things. I also encourage you to take a look. We talked about the state employment service that serves both job seekers but also business customers, and that's the Virginia Employment Commission here in the Commonwealth. Their website is vawc.virginia.gov. I encourage you to go in there and go through their background wizard. You can create a resume or you can upload a resume, and that system will start matching you with jobs based on the types of things that you're looking for, based on the skill sets that you have. So definitely check their website out as well. So we've already said that the number one way that people find out about jobs is through networking and through connecting, and a lot of networking and connecting is definitely happening online right now. So I encourage you to really enhance your online professional presence. If you don't have a LinkedIn account, you may want to consider setting up a LinkedIn account. I've had friends call me before and ask me, what's LinkedIn? And they had been applying for jobs, and the companies that they were applying with had told them to start by going onto LinkedIn and setting up a profile. So LinkedIn, it's kind of like Facebook. It's kind of like other social media sites, except it's a little bit more geared toward your professional contacts. So rather than have friends like you're going to have on Facebook, you're going to follow people, and people are going to follow you. So it's a great way for you to really multiply the network of people and the people that you know. The more people that you meet, the more people that you connect with, you really expand your job search efforts in doing that. So LinkedIn is going to give you that opportunity. I think LinkedIn is pretty easy to use. You're going to create a profile, and you want to make sure that you keep that profile up to date. Why is that? Well, your profile is going to look a little bit like your resume. It's going to have your recent experience. It's going to give you an opportunity to talk about your skills and your skill set. You're going to talk about your educational history. So you can go on LinkedIn and you can have LinkedIn work for you just like your resume. You can research and you can follow companies that you're interested in working for. You can learn about those companies, what those companies do, what type of product they make. That way, when you have a job interview, hopefully we're going to get you there, we're going to get you to that interview, you're going to be able to sit down and have a good, intelligent conversation with those companies because you're going to have learned about them. So it's a really great way for you to build your network. I really encourage you to set up a LinkedIn account and start expanding that network, research and follow some of the companies that you might be interested in working for. I'm going to quickly show you just a screenshot of what LinkedIn can look like. You're going to notice up toward the top of the screen, over toward the middle, you're going to see that there's a jobs function. You can actually click here and you can search for employment from right within your LinkedIn page. You can search for a specific job or a specific job title, or if you just want to search for a location, you can do that as well. But we're finding that a lot of companies are using LinkedIn as a way that they're recruiting people for employment. So just some things that I would have you or encourage you to take away from this brief webinar, this brief presentation. Definitely the number one way that people find out about jobs is networking. So I want you to sit down and I want you to think of all the people that you know. Anybody from your hairdresser to an instructor maybe that you had in class previously. And I want you to write down those people's names and maybe their telephone number and their email address. And I'd like for you to reach out to those individuals and reconnect with those individuals. Let them know that you're looking for employment and what type of position that you're looking for. Ask them if they happen to know anybody that's hiring. And you know what? If they say no, your response should not be, okay, well, thank you. But your response should be something like, well, thank you, but do you know of anybody else that might be able to help me? So when you do that, you're going to continue to multiply and grow that network of people. So definitely spend some time right now networking and connecting, telephone calls, social media, emailing people. But don't just rely on networking. Remember, the best approach to finding a job is to utilize all of the job search methods. So visit some company websites, network with people, go online to Indeed.com, set up a LinkedIn profile. You want to be really proactive with your job search. And I've always told people that you want to treat your job search like it is your full-time job. So if I'm up in the mornings and I'm going to work at 7 a.m. and I work until 4:30 in the afternoon and I'm unemployed, guess what? That's the amount of time that I'm going to do my best to dedicate toward my job search. And I know that that can be a little bit hard right now. Many of you have children at home that are not in school. You're helping them with homework. You're taking care of a lot of things at home right now, and I do understand that. My point is, you want to dedicate as much time as possible to finding a job, because I promise you there are jobs that are out there. Once again, the number one way that people find out about jobs or they find jobs is through networking. And when you're out there and you're looking for jobs, we'll talk a little bit about this when we get into the piece about resume writing and doing your job application. I do want to go ahead and tell you that for your resume, you're probably going to have a different resume for every job that you apply for. Is it going to be entirely different? No, absolutely not. But different employers have different things that they look for, different skill sets. They have different qualifications. So if you have those qualifications, you want to make sure that you change your resume up a little bit to reflect that you have those things that that company is looking for. You're probably looking at this last statement and asking yourself, what in the world is she talking about by kill the ants? So what I mean by ants are those automatic negative thoughts that tend to come to us when we get in times of crisis like we're in right now. Guys, I want to tell you that chances are you may receive a no after applying for a job, and that's okay, but this is where I really want to encourage you. What's your mindset? Making sure that you're thinking positive about your job search. Know that there's resources out there to help you, and know that there's companies that are hiring, and those companies want to hire good, skilled, qualified people like you that want to work. I just want to reiterate that at Virginia Highlands Community College, we want to help you. We want to help our students. We want to help our community members. Chances are you might have questions about your whole job search process. You're welcome to email me your questions. I've posted my email address here on the screen. It's tmitchell@vhcc.edu. We want you to remember that we're here to support you and we're here to help you. And I really do appreciate you for tuning in to this quick little webinar, this quick little presentation. I tried to keep it as short as possible, but I wanted to give you hopefully some good information and some good nuggets to get you started on your job search process. This is just a little quote that I use. I love my job, and I love working with people, and I love helping people, and I'm always encouraging those around me to choose a job that they love, because when you choose a job that you love, you never have to work a day for the rest of your life. Work doesn't necessarily feel like work then. So we're certainly wishing you and your family all of our best at Virginia Highlands Community College. And please remember that we're here to help you. We're here to support you and your family. So all of our best. Be safe. Thank you.